Good morning, folks. This is Deb Delapiano, and this is your Thanksgiving Day turkey shoot short take. So, on previous Thanksgivings, I've actually put on my little turkey hat. I actually have a hat with a turkey sitting on top of it, and I've made a joke about the GOP. But you know what? This isn't that year. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to present them like they're entertaining. I don't want to present them as though they're just a joke that's going to go away, because this is not where we are in America right now. MAGA is not going away. So let's talk here. I want to start with an incident that happened at the US-Canadian border yesterday with a car crash. That was a fiery car crash that was caused by excessive speed. But right off the top, we started blaming Joe Biden for that car crash. Kari Lake, Ted Cruz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and a host of other fucking right-wing fascist misfits took to Twitter and various and sundry other unsavory platforms to disparage Joe Biden because of problems with the border. Let's forget the fact that this is the fucking Canadian border we're talking about. It is not the Mexican border, Canada. So if any of you nitwits fell for that, that's on you. I'm going to read to you a statement by the FBI. FBI Buffalo has concluded our investigation at the scene of the Rainbow Bridge incident. A search of the scene revealed no explosive materials and no terrorism nexus was identified. The matter has been turned over to the Niagara Falls Police Department as a traffic investigation. The FBI thanks our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners for their assistance, and we remain committed in our mission to keeping the public safe. No terrorist incident. But, of course, the GOP won't stop there. They'll just say the FBI is in the pocket of the Democrats and that they're making that up. It's time for you to wake up, okay? If you're in there, if you let them get into your heads like that, then you need to wake up and you need to do it now. The second thing I want to talk about is this. Third parties. Now, I know you've heard this from other people before, but let's talk about third parties. First of all, Donald Trump's out there talking about how great RFK Jr. is because he's presenting an alternative to Joe Biden. No, he's not. He's not actually. No matter what Donald Trump is telling you, there have been people in the polling industry who have looked at the effect that RFK Jr. is having, and he's actually stealing votes from MAGA. And you know what? Let him keep talking, because none of RFK Jr.'s conversations, meanderings, whatever rallies he's holding, none of those talk about Democratic Party ideals. Everything he speaks about is MAGA, all the way 100%. And he has been this way since he became the biggest influencer on the COVID scene. He has spread more medical misinformation using his family name than almost any other person out there, okay? His own family decried him for what he did with COVID, and his own family has said that he's unfit for office and are backing Joe Biden, the Kennedys. Okay, they don't always stick together. Then we have Cornel West, and we have a guy who absolutely knows he's going nowhere. He's not going to win anything here. He's a political activist and a philosopher. And we have a big world with a lot of problems, and I'm sorry, but Cornel West is not the answer here. He's not. Okay? He's now on his way to Michigan to rally the voters that may be souring on Joe Biden. Joe Biden, by the way, a president who has managed to shove through more progressive legislation than almost any Democratic Party president before him. Joe Biden. I was not sold on Joe Biden, even though I voted for him in 2020. I am sold on Joe Biden right now. I believe Joe Biden deserves a second term. He has done yeoman's work getting us out of this mess. And the Republicans continue to throw shit at him and make him have to work harder than he should. But Cornel West, he's a waste of space. He's another opportunist who wants his time in the limelight, and he's getting it now. Let's talk about Jill Stein. Jill Stein, that party can't even get on the ballot half the time. And by the way, the Green Party, when they start talking nonsense, like we have to be able to entertain TERFs and anti-trans people and talk to them, really? That should be, to me, if you're the Green Party, that should be a deal breaker. Those are the people you don't fucking entertain and talk to. If you believe in the Constitution and you believe that everybody is equal and you believe that everybody has civil rights, you don't talk to TERFs. You talk down to TERFs because they don't want to hear you. I have spent time in conversation with them. Okay? They don't want to hear you. Those are not people you talk to. People who want to compromise the very core of your supposed platform are not people you want to mess with. Okay? And I happened to meet Jill Stein at the Women's March for Washington, although I'm sure she doesn't remember me because I'm not high enough up on the cheese platter for her. But you know what? I was done with her then, honestly. Now, the No Labels Party, that is nothing more than a Donald Trump super PAC. Okay, when you have the majority of your funding coming from the right wing, Harlan Crow, the same people, the same guy who gave millions to our little friend there in the Supreme Court, I don't know how you can view the No Labels Party as anything else. And as far as Joe Manchin running under the No Labels Party, anybody who is a Democrat who views Joe Manchin as a viable alternative to Joe Biden, there's something wrong with you, okay? Joe Manchin has shot down, raped, and disassembled almost every piece of progressive legislation that has tried to be passed under the Biden administration, okay? Whatever he was instrumental in working with the GOP on to help pass was watered down to accommodate the GOP. Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema high-fived each other on the floor of the Senate when they saved the filibuster, a totally un-American, undemocratic process. So let's talk about this. You have one choice come 2024. You're either voting for the GOP, and that's going to be Donald Trump no matter who's running, Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley. It's Donald Trump. You're either voting for Donald Trump and fascism or Joe Biden and democracy. Stop talking about 2028 because that's what makes people say, oh, I'll just wait till then because we're going to have some great candidates then. I got bad news for you. Joe Biden and the Democrats don't prevail in 2024. We don't win the House back with authority. We don't expand the Senate with authority. And there is no election in 2028 because Donald Trump is not going to leave this time. He will have won at that point. You are helping Donald Trump to install authoritarian rule in the United States if you're toying with the third party, or if you're sitting on the fence and deciding you may not vote. Shame on you. Shame on you. Because if 70% to 100% of Democratic voters who are registered showed up to vote, we'd never have to worry about these cretins anymore. It's time for you all to face facts. This is where we are in America, as unpleasant as it is. We're all doomed if this happens. Trust me. The only place that this will be a safe place for are straight white males. They have enough power already. I'll talk to you all later.